Are you trying to forecast business sales as a new entrepreneur or business owner, but you're just not quite sure where to get started? You're in the right place because today I'm going to be showing you how to create a sales projection for your business, even if you're brand new. So this is going to be beneficial for brand new entrepreneurs and business owners, but it also is a great tool for those of you who are a bit more established. Hi, I'm Amy Walker. Welcome to my channel. I am a client acquisition specialist, and my job is to help you find the simplest, most efficient way to consistently finding your ideal clients. If you're new to the channel, I would love for you to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can get notified every time we release new content. All right, I had to move over because I had a plant coming out of my head and it was driving me crazy. So let's talk about sales projections as a new entrepreneur. It's easier to project sales when you have an established sales history. So for example, if you know what you did last year, you could look at it and you could say, let's set a goal to increase these product sales by 10%. Let's launch a new product and hope that we hit this amount based on our history of launches in the past. And so you have some historical data to go off of. As a new entrepreneur, it becomes a little bit challenging. And the very first thing I want to impress upon you is as a new entrepreneur, your sales projection is like 50% goal and 50% guess. And you are creating the most educated guess that you can, and then you're working towards that number. Once you've established this data and these information pieces that I'm going to show you, then every year after that, or month to month, you can be projecting based on the previous month. But in the beginning, it really is equal parts guess and goal, and you're just trying to make it as educated as possible. So in today's video, I'm going to actually show you how to build a sales forecast. I'm going to show you what conversion numbers you need to know in order for this forecast to work. And we're going to help you create your sales forecast. So if you follow along and do the work as you go, you'll actually have a pretty solid sales forecast when you get done for a brand new entrepreneur. So let's jump in and get started. Here I've used Google Drive to create a really simple sales projection formula. And so let me just kind of walk you through this sheet, and as we do, we can work on creating the projections. So the first thing that we're going to look at is your revenue goals. I recommend that you have 3 different goals that you're looking at here. So the first one is your minimum goal, the second is your planned goal, and the third is your stretch goal. The planned goal is the number that you really want to hit. The minimum goal is the number that you have to hit in order to break even and not lose money. And then the stretch goal is the dream goal. Like, what would I really want to hit? Now, I have done this with really easy numbers to keep the math very, very simple. So the minimum goal in here is $250,000, which means that you need to do $20,833.33 per month. The planned goal is $500,000, which means you need to do $41,666.67. And the stretch goal is $1 million, which is $83,333.33. And so if that would be your numbers that you would want to do each month. Then what we're going to do is we're going to list out our core product sales. We're going to list out our up level or downsell product sales. And we're also going to list any other sources of income. So in here, I've put in a core product. I've called it product A. It is $10,000. In here, I've got product B, which is a $25,000 product, and I've got product C, which is a downsell, which is a $1,000 product. And then other sources of income, I've just kind of put some in here that are things that I do from time to time. So speaking fees, sponsorship fees, if I've got somebody who's sponsoring one of my online events, copywriting, when I build out a sales system, or power days. So those are just kind of some miscellaneous type things that we do from time to time, and I just put mine in as an example. The other thing that we have listed on here is your sources of leads or traffic. What are the things that you are actually doing to bring in leads? So again, I use some examples from my business. We do expert summits, we do joint venture webinars, we do team trainings, we do YouTube organic, we do paid ads, we do online speaking, we do live events, we do prospecting. So whatever are your lead sources, put them on there. And we'll come back to this when we, get some of our numbers in place. So this is the very first step that you're going to do, is you're just simply going to fill in what are your products, and at the top, what are your goals. Take a minute, you can pause me, you can do that. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to break down the goal by month. And I'm going to put in the stretch goal because this is what I really want to hit. The way that our brain works is we really do tend to gravitate towards what we focus on. So if I focus on minimums, I'm going to hit just probably a little below that. If I focus on my planned goal, I'll probably hit just a little below that. If I focus on my stretch goal, I'll probably hit just a little bit below that, which will be over my planned goal. So I always plan this based on the stretch goal, but I watch those other numbers as well, because I need to make sure that if we have a low month, then I know, hey, we've lost money this month and we got to make it up moving forward. So what I do is I start out the year with it equally divided. So for example, if our stretch goal is $1 million, then our January goal is $83,333.33. And so then I'll just equally divide that. Now what I'll do after I've equally divided up over all of the months is then I'll go down and I'll set a units goal. So here I have, for example, to hit the 83,33,33, I've said, well, if we sold 7 units of our core product, that would generate $70,000. Then I go down here to product B. If we sold 1 unit at $25,000, then I go down to product C. If we sold 5 units at $5,000. So this actually puts us at $100,000 as the goal. Then I could also go down and I could say, we are let's shoot for a speaking fee. Let's shoot for a power sales build or whatever. I can add in those miscellaneous things if I want to. Whatever you add in, though, you're going to have to go after and focus. And for a lot of people, really, you want to put the majority of your focus on your core product. And then out of those conversations, you may have somebody who needs a little more and you may have somebody who needs a little less. And so you can kind of fill in those gaps there. All right, now you've noticed that I've stacked the stretch goal. I do this for a reason, because if I am shooting higher, I always shoot a little higher than where I want to land. And so I'm trying to position myself to be able to hit the stretch goal. You don't have to do that. That is just something that works well for my brain. It's kind of like some people like to set their clock ahead 5 minutes so that they're always early, even though their brain knows it, that the clock is set 5 minutes ahead. It just keeps them on track. I like to do that with my sales goals, but it's totally up to you how you want to make that run. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually track how many units we sold. So let's do a little exercise here. Let's say it's January and we actually only sold 5 units of our core product. So that generated $50,000. Let's say we did not sell a product B at all. So that generated 0 and 0. And then let's say that we actually sold 10 of our $1,000 products. So that's going to be $10,000. Now what we do is we add up, we'll go in and throw in another thing. Let's say we got a sponsorship fee. So we got $500 there. So now we're going to go in and add up the sales. So we have $65,000 in sales. That becomes our January actual number. So now we have to look and see what were we short from the actual goal. So let's just go and pull up an online calculator. We wanted to do 83,333.33. We actually did 65,000. So we were short 18,333. Now it's January, so we can make that up. So what we'll do is we'll divide this number by 11, because we have 11 months to go. And now we need to add 1666.30.66 to each of our months. And so now we're going to add that to 83,333.33. So now we know we need to be doing about 85,000 each of the additional months. So we can go back in and we can change this. So now the February goal is 85,000. and the March goal becomes 85,000, and we would just update from there. So now we have to update our units goal. So now that we need 85,000, we need just a little bit more. Not a lot more, but we need a little bit more in our units goal. So we'll go back in and change those. So this is how you keep track of the units that are sold. Now, this is half of the puzzle, and this is what a lot of people do when they're projecting their sales. They do just this. They figure out how many units they want to sell, what they think they can do, and they plan this. And by the way, I recognize that for, a first-year entrepreneur, these numbers might be a little bit high. That's okay. You can go ahead and put in your numbers. This second tab that I'm going to show you here is going to help you set yourself up for success for hitting the numbers. Sales is a numbers game. We've all heard that before. And sometimes what people mean when they say this is just you have to talk to a lot of people. Sales is a numbers game. You got to talk to a lot of people. Well, it's a little bit more of a numbers game than that. So let's look at how we figure out some of these numbers. These are the numbers that we need to know. So we need to know total sales per month. We need to know what our closing ratio is. We need to know our total number of sales conversations that we need to have. We need to know our hold ratio. We need to know total scheduled, leads to schedule, and leads needed. And I'm going to walk you through each of these numbers. So let's start off with total sales per month. This comes straight from our projection. So for our month where we wanted to do 83,000, we needed 7 units of our core product. We needed 1 unit of our upsell. We needed 5 units of our downsell. That's where we got the 13 sales from. So we needed to sell 13 units. Now, our close ratio is really important. That's how many people do you have to talk to in order to close the deal. Yours might be 75%, yours might be 50%, yours might be 10%. I base this off of 25%. If you truly don't know what your close ratio is, 25% should be your first goal that you're trying to transact. So now we're gonna go through and we're gonna look at a 25% close ratio. So if we're gonna need to close 13 deals and 25% of the people that we talk to close, here's how many sales calls we need to have. We need 52 sales conversations. The next thing we're going to look at is our hold ratio. That's how many people schedule sales appointments that actually hold them. Now, I love when my hold ratio is 80%. That's always my goal. But some people honestly have a 50% show up ratio. And so I've put 50% in here because I'm trying to give you really easy numbers. So if 50% of the people that schedule show up, that means we need to schedule 104 appointments. If that sounds like a lot, that's the reality. And this is why I love running these numbers, because sometimes we set really big sales goals and we don't do the math and we have literally no idea how much work it will take to hit that number. And then we just find ourselves consistently frustrated that we're working hard but not hitting the goal when we didn't know what numbers we actually needed to go after. So let's say that the total number of leads that you bring in to the number that schedule is 10%. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the 104, we're going to divide that by 0.10, and that tells us that we need 1,040 leads in order to hit this. And we need that every month, right? Every month. So I mentioned that we were going to come back to our lead sources and that we would revisit that. Now's the time where we revisit that. Now that we know how many leads we need, we can come back in to sheet number 1, we can go to our lead sources. So let's say it's the month of January and I am looking at my expert summits. So I'm gonna go in and say, okay, we bring in 1,000 leads when we do an expert summit. So that actually for January might be all that we need to do. But then in February, we're not doing an expert summit because we only do them once a quarter. So then we would look at it and we would say, okay, let's say that we bring in 25 leads per JV webinar, and we're gonna do 4. So that should bring in 100 leads right there. And then let's say we bring in 50 leads per team training, and we're gonna shoot for doing 4 of those. So that would give us 200 leads. And then let's say YouTube organic brings in 25 leads per month. So we're gonna just transfer that over to 25. Paid ads is gonna bring in 350 leads. So we'll put that in there. Let's say we're going to do an online speaking event. That's going to bring us another 100 leads. And then we are not doing a live event because it's January and we may still have COVID. And then I'm going to look up these and I'm going to see what this number is. And then anything that's left over, I'm going to try to make up in prospecting. So we have right here 775 leads. 225 is a little bit high for prospecting. So what I'm going to go back in and do is I'm going to add in another team training. I'm going to add in another 2 team trainings. So I'm going to put that number at 300. And now I have 875. So now I would prospect 125 leads. That's how I put together my lead prospecting and figure out what I need. Now, if you are a brand new entrepreneur and you're looking at this and saying, that's kind of a bit of math, I encourage you to watch this video again. I know that we went over kind of a bit of math, but I really believe in your ability. These are pretty simple numbers and you can do this and you should do this for your business. It's really critical that you go into your business with a good sales projection in hand. I do have one other tool that I want to recommend for you. If you go to ultimatemarketingcalendar.com, and I'll drop the link down below, we actually have a spreadsheet. It's not exactly like this, but it will track your leads and your numbers, and it's got a formula built in so that you can project those numbers for how many sales appointments you need to have, how many leads you need to get. You basically put your sales goal in at the front and it will pop out the rest of the numbers for you. So it's a pretty handy little tool. Again, I'll put that link down below and I encourage you to go get it if that's something that you don't love doing the math. Let the spreadsheet do the math for you. It will also help you keep track of what your different lead sources are and how much you need to do of them for each month, along with showing you, helping you calculate which ones are actually performing better than the others. So it's pretty much just a really sexy spreadsheet. It's a handy tool and I encourage you to go get it. So ultimatemarketingcalendar.com, we'll put the link down below. So let's review. We have covered the fact that as a new entrepreneur, your sales projection is equal parts guess and goal. We've gone over how to create a simple sales projection spreadsheet using Google Drive, and we've gone over the numbers that you need to know and be tracking in order to ensure you're setting yourself up to hit your goal. So has this been helpful for you? If so, write helpful in the comments. We so appreciate you being here. If you are enjoying this content, I would love for you to do a couple things. Hit the like button so that I know this content is working well for you. Also, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel. We release new content 3 times a week designed to help you acquire more consistent sales and marketing. And if you want to be part of a tribe of like-minded entrepreneurs, come on over to our private Facebook group, Acquire. We would love to see you there and be able to answer more questions that you have. All right, my friends, that is it. Go out there, create an amazing sales projection, and then let me know how it goes. Thanks, everyone.